Before I get talking about yesterday's ball game, I wanted to come on here and pay my respects to the Sandberg family. Unfortunately, news broke out yesterday that Ryne Sandberg passed away at the age of 65 after a battle with cancer. Ryne Sandberg had a legendary baseball career. It all started with the Philadelphia Phillies. He was drafted by the team in 1978, debuted with them in 1981. Unfortunately for the Phillies, he only played in 13 games after his debut and then was traded to the Chicago Cubs right before the 1982 season. And that is where he stayed and had a Hall of Fame career. He was the 1984 MVP, a 10-time All-Star, a 9-time Gold Glover, and a 7-time Silver Slugger. He also came back and managed the Phillies and managed 278 games between 2013 and 2015. Obviously, wasn't the best there. The Phillies had some pretty bad teams around that time. But Ryne Sandberg was linked to the Phillies both as a player and as a manager. Had a great career, Hall of Fame career, and really unfortunate the baseball world really lost a great one. And again, my respects, my condolences to the Ryne Sandberg family. Now, into the game, the Phillies did lose the series opener in Chicago against the White Sox 6-2 to open up this 3-game series. And it just, I don't know. It's tough because the White Sox are really just one of the worst teams in Major League Baseball, and the Phillies shouldn't be losing to them, especially with one of the better pitchers on the team, one of the better pitchers in Major League Baseball this year, Christopher Sanchez on the mound, but didn't work out for the Phillies. Hopefully they get back on track tonight in that Game 2 against the White Sox, come out with a win and try to go for the series win on Wednesday afternoon tomorrow. Welcome into Phillies Daily, everybody. I'm your host, Mike Kennelly. Make sure you guys subscribe for more Phillies content right here on Phillies Daily. Now, Bryce Harper, he stayed hot despite the Phillies' loss yesterday to the White Sox. He hit a 2 RBI double in the third inning to give the Phillies an early 2-0 lead. Unfortunately, those were the only 2 runs the Phillies would score in that loss. They lost 6-2, as I said. He went 2 for 4, including that double in the loss to the White Sox. He is now batting .333 with 16 extra base hits in his last 14 games. He is scorching hot. He's doing great at the plate, and it's awesome to see because when he's going good, the whole team really just lifts up their spirits, and they have just a way better chance at winning ball games and trying to get to the ultimate goal of winning a World Series championship to bring back down Broad Street with the sea of red out there for the Phillies. He also made headlines yesterday after he reportedly cursed out baseball commissioner Rob Manfred when he was at talking to the Phillies about a potential salary cap that could be coming in the near future to Major League Baseball. Bryce Harper was not a fan, reportedly told him to get the F out of the clubhouse if he was going to talk about the salary cap. Not happy with that decision or what that decision might bring. Also, Nick Castellanos wasn't shy to express his unhappiness with it as well. So that made headlines as well. But Bryce Harper, scorching hot right now for the Phillies. Hopefully he can continue this, keep on going right into the playoff season, and as I said, trying to win a World Series championship for the Philadelphia Phillies. I did mention Christopher Sanchez was on the mound in the 6-2 loss yesterday against the White Sox. Not his best stuff. Also, that's 2 starts in a row by Phillies pitchers, 2 of the best Phillies pitchers and 2 really of the best pitchers in the National League for sure, maybe in Major League Baseball overall as well. In 2025, Zach Wheeler did not have his best stuff in Sunday's loss to the New York Yankees. He also really hasn't had his best stuff in his previous 3 starts as well, including that Sunday loss to the Yankees. Christopher Sanchez also did not have his best stuff in that loss to the White Sox last night. He went 6 2/3 innings. He really grinded through those 6 2/3 innings because, as I said, didn't have his best stuff, but almost made it right through 7 innings, which is still good enough to help save your bullpen, especially to open up a series like that. He did allow 7 hits, just the 1 walk. You can live with just 1 walk. Obviously, you try not to have any walks, but just the 1 walk. He did have 4 earned runs and picked up the loss. Now, those 4 earned runs came off of 2 separate 2-run home runs in back-to-back innings. One was in the 3rd inning. One was in the 4th inning. So that's what hurt Christopher Sanchez the most. He did allow those 7 hits, as I said, but 2 of those hits were 2-run home runs, and it gave the White Sox a 4-2 lead all they really needed because the Phillies could not score after they had that early 2-0 lead off of that Bryce Harper 2 RBI double. Now, one of those 2-run home runs was by Luis Robert Jr. Luis Robert Jr., I'm sure you've heard his name a ton of times over the past year or two now, linked to the Philadelphia Phillies. He's on a bad White Sox team. The White Sox were horrible last year, not good this year either. They've been rumored to be sellers for a while now. Luis Robert Jr. was one of those young players who had prior success, very good success in the past. Hasn't really had that in the past couple years now, but still young enough that teams are looking into a guy like him who could use a change of scenery. I did make a video about Luis Robert Jr., how I end these videos a lot recently, talking about a potential trade leading up to this deadline. You can go check that one out on the page here at Phillies Daily if you would like for a little bit more in-depth on Luis Robert Jr., but he did hit a 2-run home run, one of those 2 against Christopher Sanchez in the 4th inning, not the one in the 3rd inning. He hit the one in the 4th inning to give the White Sox a 4-2 lead. And he also did strike out twice. He went 1-4 in the ballgame, but he did have that go-ahead 2-run home run to ultimately help the White Sox win that game over the Phillies. Now, you could say it's a live audition for Luis Robert Jr. because he was linked to the team, to the Phillies last trade deadline during the offseason, and now a lot leading up to this trade deadline. Who knows if it will happen? The White Sox price can't be as high as it once was, especially last year, just because he struggled at the plate last year. He's been struggling at the plate overall this year as well. He is an elite defender. He does have really good speed. He has had a proven that he can hit for power in the past. So the potential's there. He's still young enough, but it might not take as much as it once did. So the Phillies really could be looking at him in these next 2 games. And they play right through July 30th is the last game, the series finale against the White Sox. The deadline is July 31st. So hit a home run yesterday. 2 more games to play in this series. If he has a good series, maybe the Phillies see enough and think his potential's there and decide to add the outfielder to their team, which could definitely help them because they need help in the outfield. Even though he's not having a great season at the plate, as I said, very good fielder, very good speed, and has had prior success at the plate throughout his career and still young enough. Now, staying on the outfield track here, as we are very close to the July 31st trade deadline now. It is July 29th, so just 3 days away. Pretty much 2 days away, I guess you could say, including today, 3 days. But anyway, let's stick to the outfield because the Phillies could need help there. I've talked a lot about bullpen players as well. Obviously, that's the biggest need. You can go check out really any video the past 2 months or so. A lot of bullpen guys I've been talking about, a lot of outfielders as well. Today, we are talking about Arizona Diamondbacks outfielder Alec Thomas. Now, there has been rumors of the past couple of days that the Phillies are interested in their third baseman, Eugenio Suarez. But we are going with the outfielder this time. He is a 25-year-old left-handed hitting center fielder, Alec Thomas. He was a 2018 63rd overall pick in the draft, former top prospect. He debuted in 2022 with the Diamondbacks, but he hasn't lived up to the expectations of that second-round pick of a former top prospect before he was debuted at Major League Baseball with the Diamondbacks in 2022. He has a career .230 batting average, very low. He missed most of last season in 2024 with a hamstring injury, also an oblique injury I think he dealt with as well. But that hamstring injury really kept him out for a lot of the season. I think he only played in like 39 games overall last year. This year, also not having a great season at the plate. He's batting .245 with a .292 on-base percentage, a .372 slugging percentage, .664 OPS. He has 13 doubles, 2 triples, 6 home runs, 27 RBIs, and 92 games at the Diamondbacks in 2025. However, he is an above-average fielder. He's got a career .991 fielding percentage out there in the field and center field. All of his appearances at the Major League level have come in center field. Couple games at DH, but all center field. I'm sure if the Phillies traded for him, he could also slide to left field because we all know that has been an issue as well. But he is a left-hander. If they keep Max Kepler, that's a left-hander, so that platoon doesn't really make sense. So he could stay in center field, and we'll see what happens from there. But who knows? He's a guy that could benefit from a change of scenery as well, kind of like Luis Robert Jr. He's still just 25 years old, Alec Thomas, former top prospect. So obviously the talent and the potential is there. He's under club control for 3 more seasons after this year. Won't be a free agent until 2029, so the controllability is there, which is what teams look for. He's a young guy, potential, talented, just hasn't really been able to put it together so far at the major league level. Sometimes all it takes is the right change of scenery, the right coaching, the right lineup fit, all that kind of stuff. And the Phillies have a very good lineup, pretty good coaching overall, I would say. Everybody has their own opinions, but they have been a playoff team the past 3 years. They are one of the top teams in Major League Baseball, again, for a 4th consecutive year. So you can't really hate on the coaching that much overall, despite what you want to think or what anybody says. But anyway, the Diamondbacks are 5 games below 500 to this point of the season. They are rumored to be sellers. Obviously, I talked about Suarez, big name on the trade block, some of their pitchers. And now Alec Thomas could be a guy they also move. So we'll see what happens here. We are just right here at the July 31st trade deadline. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be interesting to see what happens around Major League Baseball, especially with our Philadelphia Phillies. I'm hoping they come away with a dominant reliever, late inning reliever, and hopefully maybe a outfield bat that can definitely upgrade what they have right now, either in center field or left field. We'll see what happens. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Phillies Daily. Make sure you guys like, comment, share, and subscribe for more Phillies content right here on Phillies Daily. Hopefully the Phillies get back on track today with the win to help try to get this series win going into tomorrow afternoon's ball game against the White Sox before they head home for a homestand, starting with the Detroit Tigers. Again, thank you guys for watching, and as always, go Phils.